What's going on? Jun with the Sushi Man, and in this video, I'm going to teach you how to make one of my all-time favorite Japanese dishes, and that is kare rice, or Japanese curry rice. It's actually one of the most popular dishes made in Japanese households, and for many reasons. It's simple to make, healthy, well-balanced, versatile, and of course, absolutely delicious. Now, if you've never tried Japanese curry before, well then, my friend, you are in for a big treat, and you're welcome for introducing you. Alright, now let's jump right in. First, let's cover our ingredients. So since we're making curry rice, we're obviously going to need some rice. I'll be cooking some in my rice cooker, but you can also cook it over the stove if you don't have one of these. Watch this video to learn how, but just skip over all the sushi vinegar parts. Okay, next we have chicken. I'm going to be using about 1.5 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken thighs, but you can use whatever protein you prefer. Beef, pork, shrimp, all goes well in Japanese kare. And then for our vegetables, we have an onion, some carrots, and potatoes. I like to use gold potatoes just because they tend to hold their shape better, but you can use russet or red potatoes if you like. Now for seasoning ingredients, we're going to use half an apple, 1 tablespoon each of honey, ketchup, soy sauce, and butter. And then a couple cloves of garlic, about 1/2 inch of ginger, and then a little bit of salt and pepper. We also need about 1 cup of chicken stock, along with about 4 cups of water. And then the Japanese curry roux, which I just used the store-bought ones, and there are a few main brands: Golden Kare, Bamondu Kare, Kokumaru Kare, and Java Kare. They all come in different spiciness levels and all work very well. I use the mild version since my son doesn't really eat spicy food yet, but for me personally, I prefer the medium hot. In this video, I'll be using the Golden Curry brand since it's the most popular and easy to find, and we just need 1 box. And lastly, an accompaniment that's optional but one that I highly recommend. This is called fukujinzuke, which is a variety of vegetables thinly sliced and pickled in a soy-based marinade. It usually has daikon radish, some lotus root, and cucumber, I think. It pairs really well and is a must in our household whenever we're eating kare. And that's everything. I know it looks like a lot, but most of it is spices and seasoning, which are all optional, and you can always adjust it to your liking. Okay, now let's move on to our prep. But first, let me show you these awesome boxes that I have. TokyoTreat and Sakuraco, which happens to be the sponsor of this video. TokyoTreat is a monthly subscription box that's packed with the latest limited edition seasonal snacks straight from Japan. That means you can't find these here in the States, or anywhere else besides Japan. It also comes with instant ramen and drinks. Sakuraco is also a monthly subscription box that features traditional Japanese snacks that are made from local artisans, so obviously you can't get this stuff anywhere besides Japan either. Each box comes with 20 authentic artisan snacks, including Japanese teas and special Japanese tableware. Now that's really cool. Both are delivered straight to your door and have a different theme every month. These are the boxes for August, and I'm super excited to open these up with you guys today. Now let's see what's inside. So starting off with TokyoTreat. Man, they sure do know how to pack these. So this month, the theme is Summer Matsuri, or Summer Festivals. I absolutely love the summer festivals in Japan, and if you haven't been to one, I highly recommend putting it on your bucket list. Alright, let's check out what's inside here. And don't worry if you have no clue what these things are. They give you this cool booklet that has all the information in it. It talks about the culture, what each snack is, allergen information. That way you know exactly what you're eating. Okay, now onto my favorite part, tasting. So this one caught my eye. Meccha suppa mucho. I'm a sucker for chips, and I'm thinking it's like a salt and vinegar type, but let's see. Itadakimasu. Oh yeah, it's like a salt and vinegar. Has a nice, satisfying crunch to it. That is addicting. I can easily eat this whole bag by myself. Alright, let's see what else we can try. How about this? Kakigori gumi. So kakigori is shaved ice, and then gummies, I mean, those put together, how could that be bad, right? Yes. Oh man. My son is going to love these. They actually really taste like kakigori. Definitely reminds you of getting kakigori at the summer festivals. Very cool. That's very good. Alright, now let's move on to our Sakuraco box. It always feels so nice opening these boxes. And this month, the theme for Sakuraco is the island of Okinawa. Nice. That's pretty cool because last month, TokyoTreat's theme was Okinawa. So if you got both boxes, then you can experience Okinawa snacks in a totally different way. So they have the booklet as always, tells you about Okinawa, the local snack makers, and of course, information on each item. Okay, let's see what's inside here. Ooh, and I think this is the special tableware. Nice little snack plate with some cute little goldfish on there. Very cool. Alright, now it's tasting time. First, I'm going to make some of this tea. Sanpincha, which I think is Okinawan jasmine tea. And I'm going to drink it cold since it's like 100 degrees today. Okay, while that steeps, let's pick out our snack to try. I'm curious about this guy right here. This is Shikuasa Kokuto, which has Okinawa written all over it. Shikuasa is a citrus native to Okinawa, and Kokuto is Okinawan brown sugar. So you can't get much more Okinawan than this. Okay, first the tea. Has such a nice, clean aroma, and it's very calming flavor to it. It's really good cold, but I'm sure it'll be just as good hot. Alright, now let's try this Kokuto. Itadakimasu. Has that distinct Kokuto flavor, that brown sugar flavor, but it's a little bit lighter because of the citrus. Not as sweet. I really like this a lot. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Curious about this. It's called Wasabi Sesame. I mean, as a sushi channel, I have to try the wasabi snack, right? Itadakimasu. Oh, that has a kick to it. Wow. It definitely has a kick, but it's not overwhelming like some of the other wasabi snacks. The sesame kind of balances that out. It's quite nice. Really good. Now, I would keep going and try all of these, but I love to share this with my family, especially my son. He always looks forward to picking one out after he gets back home from school. And I mean, look at all this. They really pack these boxes. So if you or someone you know is a fan of Japanese snacks, then it's definitely worth checking out. And it makes for an awesome gift as well. You can get these exact same boxes if you order by August 15th. And when you go to the link in the description below and use my special code, TheSushiMan, you'll get $5 off your first order for both TokyoTreat and Sakuraco. It's made snack time so much more fun for my family, so I highly recommend it, especially if you have kids. I mean, what simpler way can you experience Japanese snacks from the comfort of your own home? Thank you so much to TokyoTreat and Sakuraco for sponsoring this video. Alright, now back to our Japanese kare. First things first, start cooking the rice since that takes the longest. Okay, after that we're going to cut our vegetables. And basically we just want to cut them down into bite-sized pieces. Now, I tend to cut it a little smaller than usual just because it's easier for my son to eat. Okay, so let's start off with the onion, which I've already peeled and washed. Now I cut this in half lengthwise first, and then in half the long way, and then cut it into about 1/2 inch thick slices. Alright, next the carrots. We're going to peel these, wash them, and then I'll show you the traditional technique to cut them called rangiri. Okay, so rangiri style cutting is typically used for long cylindrical vegetables like carrots, cucumbers, etc. And we do this by rotating the carrot while we cut it diagonally. And you want each piece to be about the same size. The reason why we cut it this way is so that there's more surface area for each piece which absorbs more of the flavors, especially in stew dishes like kare. So first, cut from the end at an angle like this. And then rotate it about a 1/4 turn and cut diagonally again. Rotate, cut, rotate, cut. And you just keep repeating the same thing all the way down. And you see how each piece is roughly the same size, but totally random shape? That's what you're looking for. Alright, now I'm going to peel the potatoes and go rinse them real quick. Now all we do is just cut this into about 1/8 or 1/6 depending on how big the potatoes are. Alright, next we're going to grate half of this apple. And you want to peel the skin first and then obviously cut out the core. Okay, time for the chicken. First, we want to trim off any excess fat or possible bones left on there. Okay, now we just cut this down into about 1 inch, 1.5 inch square pieces. And that's pretty much it for the prep. Now, I'm going to grate my garlic and ginger as I'm cooking, but you can also grate it beforehand if that's easier. Or just use the pre-grated ones that come in a tube if you want to keep it even more simple. Alright, first we're going to cook the onion. And you want to make sure you have a pot or pan that's deep enough to fit everything, since this is where we're going to add in all the ingredients. Okay, so I'm going to start heating this over medium heat. Add some oil. Once it's heated up, we'll toss in the onion. Now we're going to cook this till it's golden brown. My mom used to tell me cook it till it's kitsuneiro, which means the color of a fox. And you don't want to mix it too often or else it won't brown. Alright, that looks good about there. Now let's add in the carrots and potatoes. And then we'll give it a quick mix. Now add in the water, chicken stock, grated apple, honey, and ketchup. And then give it a good stir so everything mixes in well. Alright, while this heats up, let's go cook our chicken. So heat up a frying pan over high heat and add some oil. Once it's heated up, we're going to add the chicken. And we're going to cook this till it's about 50% cooked, maybe 2 to 3 minutes or so. Alright, now we're going to season the chicken by adding the garlic and ginger. And then cook it for a bit, and then we're going to add in the butter and soy sauce. Now, I totally forgot to add the salt and pepper until I moved the camera. So no footage, but just add a little bit of each in here. And then we just add this into the pot with the rest. Juices and everything, gives it that extra flavor. Now we wait till this starts to boil. And you want to make sure you have enough liquid in there where it's fully covering the ingredients. Alright, it's starting to boil now. From here we want to skim off the scum and foamy parts from the top. I just use a ladle for this, but try not to take too much of the liquid out. Okay, now turn down the heat to about medium-low, and we're going to simmer this for about 15 to 20 minutes with the lid on, but with a slight opening. Alright, it's been about 15 minutes. Now we want to test to see if the potato is done, since that's usually what takes the longest. So a couple ways you can do this. Find a potato, and you can take a skewer or chopstick and pierce it to see if it goes through easily. If it does, then good. If not, then you probably need to cook it a bit longer. The other way, and the way I prefer actually, is to just try it. But make sure to cool it under cold water first, since obviously it's going to be really hot. Alright, tastes good. Now from here, we turn the heat off, and then we're going to melt the curry roux inside. So these come in packs like this. It's usually breakable into 4 or 6 pieces. What we're going to do is break this apart by bending it backwards and then open it. Now, rather than dumping it all in here at once, I recommend taking a ladle and melting each piece with the hot liquid one by one. This way you can fully melt it in without having to stir the whole batch over and over again. Alright, now turn the heat back up to medium-low again. And then we're just going to let this cook for about 5 to 10 minutes more to thicken it up. And you want to stir it pretty often, but gently, making sure you get all the way to the bottom so that nothing is burning down there. And that's it. Now let's go plate this. And there you have it. Man, this smell gets me hungry every time. It's such a classic dish, and you probably won't find a Japanese person that doesn't like kare. It's that popular of a dish. And it's so convenient, especially if you're feeding a bigger group. And even if you're not, it's a great meal to reheat and serve multiple times a week. Alright, great job crew. Now if you're enjoying my videos and like sushi, then don't forget to check out my book. It's called How to Make Sushi at Home, a fundamental guide for beginners and beyond. It's packed with sushi knowledge starting from beginner-friendly fundamentals, taking you all the way to full-blown professional sushi chef level. So if you're an aspiring sushi chef, or a DIYer that wants to take your home sushi skills to another level, this book is for you. Links are in the description below for those that are interested. And now that you know how to make Japanese kare, learn how to make chicken katsu by going to this video right over here. So that way you can make katsu kare. Trust me, you won't regret it. Alright, thanks for watching, and as always, feel free to leave any questions or comments below. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you're enjoying my channel. I'll see you on the next one. Arigatou gozaimasu.